welcome to our new season, which I've sort of just by myself dubbed the summer of movie musicals. Ooh. I wish I'd written that out or something. I just decided that that's what I was going to say. Uh, we have decided that we'll do some movie musicals. We will keep you going and guessing by giving you each one at the end of the prior episode. That's how we did it before, and I don't know if people might like that. Keep you guessing. And this week we've started with Grease, which I thought was a perfect way to kick off a summer.
It's a heat wave.
Yes, and a heat wave. Lovely. So I have some little sections that I'm going to be... Oh, also, because you were decked out in your Heated Rivalry merch for all the episodes, I was going to bring a little prop or something. And I was so excited because I was like, I'm going to have pom-poms, Rydale High pom-poms. And I was so excited. And then my daughter fell asleep. Well, she's currently fighting sleep. And I realized the pom-poms were in her room as I was coming out here. I was like, oh. So I don't have pom-poms, but pretend I do.
Oh, that's such a shame. Okay, we'll bring them next week so we can enjoy them.
Yes.
In the future.
The way I'd like to start the episode, though, is I have... So I'm calling our section, this beginning bit, History Has Its Eyes on You, which is... This is where we roll it way back, merrily style, to measure out our history with the show from the first time it had its eyes on us to the premiere. And I thought it'd be fun for us to look at the last time it played in the West End, or it played in the UK.
Yeah.
So, basically, when did you first see Grease?
I saw Grease at a friend's house for a sleepover, and which I think is the best time, right? I saw the movie.
Honestly, it was in my things. It was was it a VHS that somebody gave you, a sleepover? I literally put in my notes, was it a sleepover? It is such a sleepover musical.
It's so, and to be honest, the first time I saw it, I didn't understand it. At all. I think I probably was the target demographic, but I was very young. I must have been, I think I was in primary school or maybe just into secondary school. So pre-teen. And I was confused, and I think I liked the music, but I didn't know what anyone was saying. I didn't know what anything was talking about because it's a very adult themes.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I remember loving the last song and stuff, and it would always play at every school disco. I don't know if that was the same for you, but primary school discos, we would have all the songs.
No, I have a very different experience. Because yours is very spot on, pretty similar to a lot of people. I think probably especially in the UK, because it is a bit of a disco song or a bit of a wedding song to do. You're the one that I want or whatever.
Yes.
I was at Costco with my mom one summer, and it was the 20th anniversary, and this was 78, so it would be 98, which makes me 9? No, 10. So I'm 10 years old and I'm walking through Costco with my mom, and I see Grease on VHS, and it's cool, and I like everything 50s because I'm just in that weird era of my life where I really like everything 50s.
I remember that for me.
Yeah, and it came with, because it was a special edition VHS, it came with the script.
Oh.
It was a big one. It was a really cool box and stuff. And I was like, oh, what's that? And my mom was like, oh, it's a musical. And now I loved musicals, and I did musical theater, and I was an absolute nerd. So my mom was like, oh, you'd probably like that. And I then spent the rest of my summer learning every single word to the entire script of Grease.
Wow.
Obviously. I loved a script.
Yes,
I highlighted stuff. I could do the entire film down to the inflections because I was at that age where it just there's I'm not gonna know phone numbers later because I know the words to Grease. I don't know. It's odd.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It's just, it holds a special little place in my brain. But one thing I did not remember, and this is wild. I was watching it and I was like, is Olivia Newton-John just Australian in this? I had no memory of her being Australian. I was like, I know she is. Like, I knew that she
Yeah,
was, but I
yeah.
didn't remember her not doing an American accent for
The
it.
plot, the
I was like, did I?
storyline was that she was,
Is
wild, by the
this
way, it's plot point.
is this a Mandela effect though? Because somebody else in the letterbox comment said, I forget midway through the film that she's Australian. Why did they what I guess she just didn't do an American accent. But like I was like, I
Yeah.
just don't remember that. How is it I've forgotten about that? I knew it was her parents had moved away. Like I knew that was the thing, but I just yeah,
Yeah,
so aside from
when we
that,
get into it, we'll have to get into the weirdness that is like why she's Australian. Why she is it just that she couldn't do an American accent at that point?
I
So they're like, I guess you're Australian then, because she
it
sings
has
in
to
an
be,
American
yeah.
accent. Like she doesn't sing in an Australian accent. So I
But
think
her
that's also what
Australian
people forget.
accent isn't her accent isn't very thick either though. Like it's
I
not
thought
like
it was
she has a
very thick.
really do you think?
I thought it was like more. I don't know if it's just more in the beginning or more just because it was the beginning and I saw her for the first time. But I was like, it to me sounds really thick.
Um, so as far as the history of the musical though itself, um, so it was a stage first, screen second. It started as a stage musical and it opened in Chicago in 1971, and then it moved to Broadway in 1972. It had 7 Tony nominations, including Best Musical. It ran for years, and then the film came out. Danny on Broadway. At one point, it was John Travolta. At one point, it was Patrick Swayze. At one point, it was Peter Gallagher. And at one point, it was Richard Gere. And Richard Gere actually played Danny in the London premiere in 1973.
Oh my gosh. Like
Yes,
proper leading men.
I know. And then its
Wow.
last time it played in the West End was at the Dominion Theatre in 2022 and then came back again in 2023. And they used some of the songs from the Chicago run, the like original run, because once the film came out, they had taken a lot of stuff out and put a lot of stuff in to make it a little bit more wholesome. And I think that it's primarily been produced with a lot of the stuff from the film in it,
Yes,
since
yeah.
that's what people go to see.
And
Um,
they're calling that wholesome. That's
yes,
wholesome?
yes. So
My
apparently
God. What is the stage play like? Jeez.
the original one, I've been said that it's raw and that there's a lot more swearing. And I think it
Okay.
was I think it was initially supposed to be like a really horrible parody of the 50s told from like a bitter like
Okay.
hippie kind of vibe, like you know what I mean, it was sort of
Yeah.
mocking that and sort of grittier, but yes, no, it is still very in its essence it's still a very gritty film and very weird.
Very, yeah. Not explicit, but certainly, yeah. A lot of lessons that children should not learn. I also have to preface that I have seen this performed live uh,
You when?
in my secondary school. It was the like I must say spring musical. This is not High School Musical, but like it was one of the musicals for that year that my friend was in as one of the Pink Ladies. You know who you are. I won't out you. Don't worry. But you've met them. But they were one of the Pink Ladies, I think, which took me by surprise. I went to see it, did not know she was into musical theatre at all, and then suddenly she appeared on stage, and I was like, "What are you doing?" So that was probably the last time. Like, well, it was the only time I've seen it live, and it was all
I
right.
wasn't going to mention it.
Under budget secondary school production.
So I wasn't going to mention it, but I actually did see it performed. And I went to see my older cousin do it for his elementary school play. So he would have been in like 5th grade. And
What?
he played Danny, but they lip synced the whole thing from the movie. But yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But who let elementary school children? I mean, I guess
No.
just it's a different world in the 90s, wasn't it?
It really
But I
was.
think
It
I
really
think my
was.
mom only took me to see it because I had just like obsessed. And she was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, okay, you can." But yeah, it's very weird. Um,
So weird.
different world. But one of the things is though, it is because it takes place in a high school. It is a great like high school production. Like it,
Yeah.
everyone kind
True.
of fits the thing. There's a lot of female characters, male characters. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. You can take things out, put things in. My high school refused to do it because of the pregnancy stuff. My high
Fair.
school,
Fair. Yeah. Well,
the
not fair,
gentleman
but yeah.
gentleman who did our like musical theater stuff actually retired very shortly after we did there. So he was an older generation and was like, absolutely
Mm.
not doing that. And then once the person who took over after him came in, they did like Grease and all of these much more like modern stuff, and he just totally changed the whole way it was. But in the meantime, we did The Wiz and My Fair Lady.
Oh, God. Oh.
I mean, I absolutely love My Fair Lady, but yeah, it was not. It wasn't.
Mm. Can we just say as well, for like quite an old movie, this passes the Bechdel test. Like,
Yeah,
I think all movies we should check, but yeah, this one does.
good. I'm just trying to think. Where are they? Oh yeah, because there's the waitress and Frenchie are talking about whether she should stay in school or what she should do. There's that conversation, but there must be other ones, I'm sure.
There's what the sleepover, and they're talking about piercing her ears. She's going to beauty
Oh yeah,
school.
of course.
Like there's loads. I mean, yes, a lot of it does hinder around Danny and Sandy, but like
Yeah, yeah.
they do have a lot of other conversations. It's about being a girl.
That's such a
Because
good
we're all
point.
girls, we're not
Yes.
fully grown women.
Yes, we need to check the Bechdel test on everything we say. But let me get to the synopsis here. So, Australian transfer student Sandy and greaser Danny have a dreamy summer fling at the beach. Then the term starts, and surprise, they both end up at Rydell High. Trouble is, cool guy Danny can't be soft in the front of it. Can't be soft in front of his T-bird mates, and sweet Sandy doesn't fit in with the tougher pink ladies. Cue a whole senior year of cliques, cars, and a school dance, and a lot of negotiating who they're willing to be for each other, which is kind of actually good. We got John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John, Tucker Channing as Rizzo, Jeff Conway as Kaneki. Do you know Jeff Conway at all?
Just from this.
So he was on
That sounds like a familiar name, though.
he was on a sitcom called Taxi, which actually Danny DeVito was on as well, and
Oh.
what's his name? Oh, I can't think of his name. It's gonna kill me. It's not Judd Hirsch, is it? It might be. That might be his name. The one who's in Independence Day as his father.
President? Oh, as his father. I don't know his name,
Judd
but I
Hirsch.
know
I think it's
exactly
Judd
who you
Hirsch.
mean. I'll put up his picture on the YouTube here.
But yeah, they were all in this. Andy Kaufman was in it. It was like a really, really good like 70s sitcom. But I knew him from that when I was younger because I watched it in reruns all the time. I was just interested if Taxi ever made it across the pond.
Don't. Yeah, I mean, I think I was just too young. So even if it did, I probably didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. Also, I made a note. I was very clumsily making a note over here because Greaser. I didn't know that's why the movie's called Grease. Like
Well, they wear
that's
grease in their hair.
So they were called greasers because they just wore a load of hair gel?
Yeah.
You say this like this is something everybody knows. Does everybody know this? And I didn't.
I don't know. I mean, that's just. I mean, in the illustrations at the beginning of the film, the grease comes out of the hair gel tube. The word grease comes out of the hair gel tube.
That is true. Why did I put that together? I'm finding out. This is what we wanted, though. You know, finding out fun facts.
Clearly, you did not like the 50s as much as I did. Or the pretend version of the 50s that existed. I watched a lot of Happy Days.
I watched a lot of Happy Days. We had I love the movie Graffiti. There's no, my dad had a 1957 Chevy. So we had a big 50s, and our kitchen was done like a 50s retro diner with jukeboxes. We had a whole 50s era in our family. So I had a lot of that. But obviously not the grittier side of the 50s. Very much the cookie cutter, an English person looking at America kind of way.
Your parents seem to be, or maybe your dad specifically, seems to be a fan of the like Americana style.
Loves Americana, yeah.
And then Frankie Avalon's the other big name in it, who is Teen Angel, and he was a teen pop star.
Yes. Yeah. My husband was telling me about him. Yeah.
The director, I don't know. Randall Kessler. Stage and music book by Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey. Screenplay by Bronte Woodard. Adapted by Alan Carr. Not that Alan Carr.
I've got 2 L's, not one.
And the song Grease was written by Barry Gibb, which isn't Barry Gibb part of the Bee Gees?
Yeah, he's part of the Bee Gees. He's one of the Bee Gees.
Yeah. And then John
Great song.
Farrar, I don't know how to say his name, but he wrote Hopelessly Devoted to You and You're the One That I Want, and I have more information on that, but he wrote those songs for this musical, and he was Olivia Newton-John's producer, and he wrote those songs, so she got more screen time.
Apps for that, man. Apps.
But
honestly, you know what you're doing. Business-minded.
But because of that, John Travolta had them do Sandy, when he sings at the drive-in.
Yeah, on the swing.
And traditionally, the Grease Lightning song is sung by Kenickie, not Danny. So he actually took the song away from Jeff Conway because he had more clout. Because at the time, I don't know if he did Saturday Night Fever before or after this, but John Travolta also started on a sitcom as well. He was on Welcome Back, Kotter. Anyway, full track list. I'm just gonna go right on down it. Grease, as we said, a fantastic Summer Nights, Hopelessly Devoted to You, Grease Lightning, Beauty School Dropout, Sandy, Look at Me, I'm Sandra Dee. Oh wait, hold on. Those are out of order. Those are definitely out of order.
That is out of order. Yeah, doesn't matter.
Way out of order. Yeah, it's all right. There are worse things I could do. Look at Me, I'm Sandra Dee. You're the One That I Want. We Go Together. And then the ones that are on the National Bandstand songs are Rock and Roll Is Here to Stay, Those Magic Changes, Tears on My Pillow, Hound Dog, Born to Hand Jive, and Blue Moon. And then ones that were written specifically for the film would be Grease, Hopelessly Devoted to You, You're the One That I Want, and Sandy, as I said. There were a couple other songs called All Choked Up, Freddie My Love, and Alone at the Drive-In Movie were kept as instrumental underscores in the film, but they were not. So there was one called All Choked Up, which was replaced by You're the One That I Want. So those are the staged musical ones that were replaced. But basically, it seems like everyone just kind of wanted to be the star of this film. I don't know what it was like, but from all my reading, it feels like everyone wanted to be the star.
So basically, it's like the hand jive scene, but the whole movie behind the scenes. Because we learned that dance and that song would be played at our school disco. So we learned the hand jive like from very early on. Before I think I'd even seen the movie.
I think I just kind of, I don't know if I knew it just from the movie. I'm assuming so. I don't know. But
I learned the Macarena at every school disco.
That everyone should just know. That should just be part of your life, obviously.
Yeah. You can't graduate school without knowing the Macarena.
Although, so as we start, because I kind of want to go into just sort of more of the themes. I wouldn't break it down bit by bit because we'd be here all night. But what I do want to frame this as, so this film is supposed to be taking place in 1958, and it came out in 1978. If we were to do the movie Grease from today, it would take place in 2006 when I was a senior of high school.
I hate everything you just said.
Yeah, I know. Right?
I hate all of it. I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm out. This is why my Spotify said to me, my day list today was dad rock, and it was just all the music I listened to at school. I was like, okay. Throwing shots.
Yeah.
I hate that so much. Oh my God. Our kids are going to be like, 2006, so long ago. You know, were you writing with stone tablets?
Well, see, but you figure though, so when I was watching it, it was the 20th anniversary. So if you take back another 20 years, you'd put it in 86, which the sort of obsession that in the 70s they would have had, or the 90s we had for the 50s, is the same sort of obsession that now we have for the 80s.
And the
Like,
90s. We're starting to come into the 90s now, I
yeah, we're
think.
starting to come into the nights because we're all getting older. But I think it's just who's in charge of the writers' rooms, really. And that is, I've said that probably time and time again, and maybe even on this podcast. It's whoever's in charge of writing.
Yeah.
That's who's
Yeah, it's true.
making.
And I think people our age are now coming into like being the chief writer on a show or something because I love seeing 90s stuff now. And before it was
Yeah.
80s. So I think it's just natural progression. Yeah. And then when our kids will love seeing stuff from the 2010s. There's so much
All
flavor.
right, so I wanted to just kind of so we talk about there is an intro in the beach. Don't really know why we even need that.
Don't even need it.
No,
We
you
don't.
don't.
Especially because like Danny gets fresh with Sandy, and she's like, "No, don't ruin it." He's like, "What?" And then she's fine about it, and I'm like, "Consent's important." Consent is something that they really needed in this movie. Jesus Christ.
It's just, and it's not like so we believe her or whatever. Because what I don't know. It's not necessary. It's definitely. I would very much doubt there's any type of scene like that in a stage presentation of it. Why? Right?
Yeah, I
Um,
I don't understand it. Weird.
But as we went into the credits, like the animated credits with, as we've said, this song by Barry Gibb, Grease, it's it's fantastic. It's such a good song.
Such a good song.
But it's like a 70s like disco pop song. But when I was a kid, I thought that that's what the 50s sounded like.
Because I think it's definitely 70s, but it is
Yeah, it
trying,
is.
I don't know, maybe it's trying to do a little bit of 50s, but even like the animations, like, the main character with the big hair, even that looks very 70s. Like I know they've got to do
Yeah.
their hair and stuff, but it all looks very 70s. Also, I did write down that the caricatures that they did for each actor was an insult. It was so horrible.
Yeah, especially Stockard Shannon. She just gets so like
Yeah,
buck
it's
toothed
not
and
fair. I mean,
horrible.
yeah, I mean, she leaned in, but still.
Also, so as far as going into the music, because I figured there's sort of different types of musicals that we're going to be covering, and there's some that are sung through, so you can't really go scene by scene or song by song because if you're going scene by scene,
Mhm.
it's totally different, and it doesn't really work. So I figured that we'd kind of just look at it sort of literally, some of the themes and issues that we had with the film, or things we love.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
that's kind of all right with you.
Yeah.
So I would say that aside from them all looking absolutely fucking ancient, and it's my throw on Olivia Newton-John's accent, I thought they actually did a really good job at the very beginning, kind of establishing who's who, why we like them, why we don't like them, what we're supposed to do. They really set
Yeah.
this up actually pretty well and very quickly, like
So much
almost
exposition. Yeah.
instantly.
It was, I mean, I wrote down the average age of a T-bird is 35 because they had to establish like so quick, they're teenagers. They are teenagers because we're all just going, who are these adult men and women? But also, I
We're
guess the themes do
adolescents.
not allow, yeah, the themes do not allow for like accurate ages in this. So I can kind of see, but
Even if you
Jesus.
think about like uh people playing teenagers like Dawson's Creek, even they were on the early 20s side, like even into the
Yeah,
90s, it wasn't really until Disney started making like proper like children's content, like
true, true.
Hannah
Yeah.
Montana was actually a teenager, that kind of thing. I think that before that they were quite happy to just be like, this is an adult standing in for a teenager. But because they've all smoked and it's the 70s, they all just look so fucking old.
They, it is a hard 18.
But
Brutal 18.
also, John Travolta, I was like, I didn't expect him to look so young because I knew he looked old. Like I was like, oh yeah, they all look really old, don't they? And I looked at him and I was like, oh my god, but he's such a baby face. And I looked at him, I'm like, yeah, because he's like in his 70s now. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
that's
he's had
why
a
he
lot of
looks so
work
young.
done. And he's wearing a beret now.
Oh,
Let's not get into that.
oh my
Um,
god.
um, yeah, I it was really good. I thought the beginning was really good, yeah, because it was like it was a lot though. It was a lot of information. And like oh, do you want to try out for the cheerleading? And then the next scene she's like a cheerleader. And you're like, wow,
Yeah.
time is moving fast, but also relationships aren't moving at all. Like Everything B plot was moving fast and A plot was moving glacial pace.
Does this film, I mean, I know that the film has a like back and forth on their relationship kind of thing. But recently, when my husband watched Clueless for the first time, he told me it had no plot. And I was like, yes, it does. It's like her whole year of school. And then I was like, does this have a plot? Of course it does. But it's all kind of like little mini stories that happen throughout the year at school.
Oh, vignettes.
Yeah. So, but like, it's Clueless is a little bit more put together than this, I think. But especially because it's based on Austin. I think that this is a vibe movie. Not a vibe movie completely, but I think it has a.
No,
it's more about like getting the feeling and understanding the people and the music being pretty good. I like the music. Do you?
I do like the music. I do. I really do. Yeah. I kind of do agree with your husband in the fact that Clueless kind of doesn't have a plot. It does have a plot, but I think older movies, God, but they didn't necessarily need a this is where we started, this is where we're ending, and all we do through the middle is get to point B from A. Like older movies used to take things slow and we go off on places and things that didn't really matter, but it was a great journey to take kind of thing. So Clueless, I think, does that a lot. Like with the boyfriend who turns out to be gay and stuff like that. They aren't needed, but it's a nice kind of side quest we go on. Whereas I imagine, and I know your husband really likes action movies, a lot of those do have like a this is the problem, here's the mission, here's how we solve it at the end, everything's keen. So I think that's kind of the same with this, because it's also like at the end, not to jump ahead, but to jump ahead, like we can't say like boom, that's the end and everything is changed now, and you know, it's kind of just like continues on after that, but we don't see it. So I kind of do understand that, but I like that. I really like movies that don't have a like bang, here's the end and that's it.
Yeah.
And the whole movie just getting to this point.
I mean, it's also, I think, trying to, because I think I saw somewhere in my like research that the guy who wrote it originally had a sort of idea that it was based on his life sort of in Chicago, in like sort of, I think there were a lot of like hoodlum type people. I think they got a little bit more suburbanized for this.
Yes, yeah.
But so I think that it was kind of telling sort of a story of someone's life originally, and I mean it's really been bastardized from that. But it's I think that like telling sort of a story through someone's eyes is kind of getting a picture of sort of who they are. Because if you think of like a memoir or a biography, there are lots of stories that go places that don't really actually have anything to do with what ultimately happens. They're just sort of, and this is also what happened kind of stories. But I mean, I think that Greece isn't that deep.
It's not. And also the accents. I turned to my husband and was like, this isn't set in New York, but the accents, and I'm not great with accents, and especially American accents, because there are quite a few. But then my husband said, oh, this was originally set in Chicago. And I was, oh, okay. Why are they in Brooklyn? It was a really like lobstery accent.
I don't think they are in Brooklyn. I don't actually. I think they've just taken it out of Chicago, but given them like I don't know, like cool guy accents. I really don't know. I don't think that any thought has been put into that. Although, on that note, John Travolta was already on TV doing that accent in Welcome Back, Kotter, and then he was also doing the kind of New York accent well into the 80s. He was in Look Who's Talking doing the New York accent. Is it possible John Travolta's just from New York and that's kind of his accent?
It might be. Like I did write down as well, apparently, that the film is set in Philadelphia. So, and I was like, I don't know Philadelphia accents, but I don't think it's that. Sure. But also the guys' accents were very different from the girls' accents. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like a Jersey accent. I'm not good with geography. But I was so confused. Oh, also, I mean, sorry to like jump on something, but my husband made a really good point. Sorry, it's not my husband's podcast, but he did make a really good point, which is he's asked, does Rizzo fancy Danny?
So that's one of the things I put in my notes was that I think that because she says, "Oh, history sometimes repeats itself." I think that she at one point was with Danny, and
Mm.
then she is like, and he says like no sloppy seconds or something. So I think that Danny had been with her at one point. Um,
I think
and
she
then
liked him as well, not just like she'd been with him for a night, but I think they like went together, to use a 50s term.
I don't know because
Yeah.
then
Well, they had a
there'd be some,
thing.
yeah, there has to be some type of bro code as well, though, that his friend wouldn't then.
I don't know about those guys. There's something else.
That's fair. I mean, we did also witness them thinking it was hilarious that one of their friends was just laying down looking up girls' skirts.
They did look like it was a
Hilarious.
problem, though. They were like, "Look at him!" Like they did go like, "Look at him! Oh, for God's sake! Like, get him help." That's so gross. Honestly, the yeah, even when I watched this, probably not for the first time, but later on in my teen years, I did see how problematic this whole movie is.
I don't know if I ever saw it as problematic because I didn't watch it until I was much older, and I maybe like obviously knew that there were issues, but didn't really think like I was like, oh, that was just the way things were.
Yeah, whereas I'm
Like,
seeing it as like a
I
teenage
think,
about teenagers.
yeah, and I do think there is something maybe like it was already ingrained in me by a young age that that's just what this movie was. So I don't think I was ever willing to take like a step back from it until I got to be much older, where I was like, oh yeah, Grease does have some problematic stuff, doesn't it? Well, okay, but I hadn't really watched it since then.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty bummed that my mom let me watch this so heavily. But like at the same time, thank you, because I was a theater kid and I was going to find a way to get to it. I might as well do it at home. Um,
That was like drinking underage.
it is, it is.
Do it in the
I mean,
safety of your own home.
you know, I do not think I can, because I will spoil alert for everyone. Annie is not on this list, but I
Oh
went.
God, sorry.
No. The 80s. I think it's like 1984 or 1985. Annie. I watched it one day. So they like had a like chill out couple days in kindergarten, and we watched the first half of Annie one day and the second half of Annie the next day. And I ended up getting very sick and missed the second half of Annie. And I was like, no, I want to go back in. I need to see the second half of this film. And I was just so devastated. So my parents rented it for me. When you're like 5 and you see a little kid singing and you're just like, she's cute, I could be cute. It was the introduction of my life to musical theater. I mean, I'll get more into that probably throughout this musical theater time, but it has been a lifestyle for me for a very long time now. And my parents, my poor parents, had to deal with excessive amounts of singing and musical theater. So much, so much. But we'll get into all of that. But yeah, so I think that my mom was just gonna give me whatever I wanted just to shut me up. There you go. Go ahead. Whatever you want. Um, and also I thought to myself, like, I think some of the musicals that I have on this list, there'll definitely be songs that I'm not as familiar with or don't listen to or whatever, and I'll be like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this one. But I obviously know all the words to every single one of these songs, so it feels really weird to be like, "What did you think of this?" But um,
Yeah.
I'm guessing that the halfway point of this would be right. Like, if you were gonna go Beauty School Dropout, I would guess is the
Mhm.
closer of the first act. That would be my guess,
Yeah. Oh, it really is, especially because like it's a
because then
one
they would.
person, and then literally the scene closes
Right, and then they
and be
would come
refreshed.
back. They'd come back after the thing, and everybody would be in new outfits, and a scene like
Mm.
her hair color change, everything would be different. So I think that would be what that would be at the end of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Intermission, everybody. I think so.
Yeah.
I do think that this was probably. It's also a big number. It's a big number. It's got a lot of stuff going on. That feels like a good end of first act.
So if we're gonna consider Beauty School Dropout the beginning, let's kind of break down some of the other ones. We have Summer Nights, which I feel is very overrated. That's one I'll skip. But I like it.
Yeah.
It's just one I'll skip.
I don't like the end notes. I like the end. Like
Those,
it's too much. It's too much. Your voice
and
can't go that high, just admit it.
their little faces next to each other with her like superimposed into the
Like a
sky.
Christmas card from the 90s. Yeah.
We got
I'll be honest, I could skip Hopelessly Devoted. Like
okay.
I could.
Not a hot take at all.
Okay,
Hopelessly
cool.
Devoted is shit.
Oh
It
thank
is
God.
awful.
I thought I was
It's
about to
awful.
get like
No,
colder.
no, not a hot take. It's awful. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that really like it, but it is just a ballad and a 70s style ballad in,
Yeah.
in this. It's not it's so shit. It's like oh, I really hate it.
Even
I
the
hate it.
video, like I say the video, but even like the visuals that go with it. I wrote because like she was like looking and she was like running her hand across the water or whatever, and she got up and I was like, oh shit! I thought she was looking at a lake. That's a paddling pool. I was thinking it was like, oh, they have a little pond in their garden. Kids paddling pool.
Um yeah, and I also, while we're at it, hate Sandy. The drive it,
Yeah,
the Sheriff driving.
I don't like
I
that
hate
one.
that one as well. It's
Yeah.
awful. They're both were very clearly written to go. Although, actually, and I found it later. I don't know why I didn't adjust my notes. I also found that there are worse things I could do was written for Stockard Channing as well. And
Ah,
that is one of my favorite.
it's a good one.
Like, it
A
is
lot of emotion behind that one.
such.
I like it.
It's such a good one for acting while singing. And it's an alto tone as well, so like it's not very high up, so it's really reachable for a lot of female singers. Um, but when I looked up, I was like, "Is it a hot take that I like this song?" And it was like, it is one of the most widely used audition songs because of how easy it is to sing, but also it
Oh.
shows your acting through singing. And I was like, "Oh, okay, so not a hot take, but a very common take apparently." But I think that's a fantastic one. Um,
I think I like all the upbeat songs, like all the fast-paced songs tend to be my favorites. And I'm not a
yeah,
big ballad person. I never have been, so I tend to switch off a little bit during ballads.
yeah, definitely. Uh, Also, so the Sandra D at the sleepover, which we've
Yeah,
mentioned is passing the black dog test, which I'd never even thought about, but you're right. They are like talking about it's a dessert wine. Like that's
dessert
one of
wine.
my favorite lines. Because I knew what that meant at 8, 10, whatever it
What?
was. What do you think of Frenchie as a friend?
She's a really okay. If we take into consideration Sandra Dee, she's not a great friend because she didn't stop them from. Like, she took part in the whole like kind of absolutely roasting her. But I think she's a good friend. But I think she also needs to like let her go because clearly Sandy does not fit in with the Pink Ladies. Like she doesn't, and she more fits in with that like goody two shoes girl who's like a bit much, and she's a cheerleader. Like clearly she likes to do that. I just don't think she's a Pink Lady, and that's
No,
okay. I think
I
Frenchie's
actually
trying. It's weird.
I think that Frenchie sees something in Sandy that maybe Sandy doesn't even
Hmm.
see in herself. And I did find, and I'll skip ahead my notes here a little bit. I found an article from Pace Magazine from 2023, and they
Hmm.
said Sandy looks across Thundered Road and sees pink ladies and the T-Birds celebrating their victory, completely unburdened by expectation and insecurity, and makes a decision. She decides in that moment to change herself so that she is no longer scared, insecure girl and aims to be a confident young woman instead. Getting Danny is just an icing on the cake. After all, it's not like her original personality is totally gone. Sure, she approaches Danny and says new iconic line, "Tell me about it, stud." But a few minutes later, she dorkily looks at Marty to help on how to put her cigarette out. She's still as giggly and lovable as she was before, and only now she's not concerned with the rest of her classmates think, as she sings the film's most iconic song with her new view. I the whole article itself, I took this bit just because I was like, I can't read the whole article. But to paraphrase, it was basically saying, actually, it's not necessarily an unfeminist moment where she just gives in to herself, because he did try to kind of do her thing and stuff, but ultimately, I think there is a reason that they worked. I think there was something to it, and I think that
Hmm.
it doesn't. to be, especially with how positive it is for the worst things I could do for Rizzo's character is so like female sex positive that I was just sort of like, you know what, actually we could try and make this not so bad because it does seem like she's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just be a bad girl now. But I do
Mhm.
think that there's sort of an element of her that's saying like, oh, I would like to be like this, especially because it definitely suits her. Hot Sandy is great.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. To be honest, actually, do you know what? I prefer Sandy from the beginning.
Did you?
Yeah, yeah. I wore a ribbon in my hair, and I think it might have been because of this movie. I just didn't
You.
like the perm. It wasn't the perm for me. I think that's what it was.
I think you're the only person I've ever known that wanted to be Sandy from the beginning of the movie. Like, I don't know why I'm surprised. It's so on brand for you, like just so on brand. Like everyone else is like, oh my god, it's why I was buying leather trousers and high heels and I wanted to smoke. And you're just like, well,
Give
I
me a
did like
petticoat.
that bow. I did like that bow. I love a little poodle skirt. Oh my
Did that.
god.
I think I did have ribbon, but also I think also Matilda had a ribbon, so I did a ribbon.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, that is really cute. But Matilda's a little girl.
that I wasn't that old. I was like probably 11 or 12, I think. It wasn't
Okay,
that
all right,
bad.
all right.
But no, I know what you mean. But no, I think for, for me personally, I like prefer sweet innocent Sandy over perm. Is it because I got a bad perm when I was younger? Maybe. Maybe I'm just seeing a reflection of myself.
I don't know. I love the perm. I love it. And when I was in hair school, because obviously when you are going to school to do hair, beauty school dropout comes up quite a bit.
Oh
But
yeah.
like, you know, it was always like everyone would be like, oh, for Halloween I'm going as hot Sandy. Like everyone loved doing the curls and stuff. Like it was so much
Yeah.
fun.
Not
I know
even not
so many
bad. I
people who have
just
used it as like as a Halloween costume and stuff, and not one person wants to be.
I just feel very lonesome. Oh
You
God.
absolute
Uh
nerd.
I know. I genuinely did go through a phase of like wearing really cute dresses. Think like that episode of Gilmore Girls where Rory's dressed as like a 1950s housewife for Dean. Like I did go through a little bit of a phase of like wearing big skirts with like petticoats and shit. I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know. I was trying
We
to
all
find
go
myself
through
a
phases.
style.
To be fair, I
Yeah.
went through a bow phase when we were going through a Gaga phase as a society. I had
Yes,
big
as a
Gaga
society as a
bows.
whole.
No,
Yeah, yeah. Better than it being JoJo Siwa bows. Like,
no, no,
no.
we were pre JoJo. We were
Luckily,
very
we
pre
totally aged
JoJo.
out of that in time.
Going back because I kind of skipped way ahead, but I think you're right though on the faster songs definitely being much better. And Grease Lightning is, I think, I don't know, it's probably one of the best ones. I think. But
Yeah.
again, I was really like surprised to find out, and I was like, "Well, yeah, obviously Danny wouldn't sing this. It's not even his car. Like,
Yeah, it's not.
it makes no sense." So I was like, "All right." Um, but the choreography for that is iconic because I'm pretty sure anytime I've ever seen anybody like around was singing with Grease Lightning, they do the Grease Lightning, go Grease Lightning. Like the arm thing is always like a thing.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it. Yeah. God, did they just play the Grease soundtrack at every disco I went to? Jesus. Yeah, that was another one that we
It
did
is
at the
It is
disco.
some really, really good songs. Like, and they
Yeah.
are really like,
Except they had to change the lyrics, didn't they? They changed the lyrics for the radio version.
did they?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So for Chicks Who Cream, it's for Chicks Who Scream. They changed that.
Oh, yes, I never did. I just watched it in the film, and I had to
Yeah,
see.
so you've just seen it, whereas I've heard it on like the radio, I guess.
Yeah, I
Um,
guess so. Yeah, I feel like Grease because British people have sort of this understanding that things can be like kind of cheesy and cool, but like my American friends were not finding this cool. I think that
really?
yeah, no, this was not cool. I mean, there were people that
Oh,
liked it, and there were women more than other people. But this is definitely not cool for me to like. Like, I would not
oh,
say any one of my friends was like, "Oh yeah, I love Grease." People were like, "Oh yeah, I think like my mom watched that." Like it was
wow.
at least
Okay.
that was my personal experience. Maybe I'm in the wrong, and I'm sure there's loads of people my age who have seen it and liked it. But when I was younger, I did not have that experience. But it does seem that everyone else did. So
Might be a
yeah,
cultural thing though. Like it genuinely might be like UK obsession with Americana.
I do think there is a bit of that. But also, I kind of just at that age where I think like a lot of people were like really into like I don't know. I mean, we figure 98, we're talking like boy bands and like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Grunge is
Britney
starting to come up.
Spears. And yeah, it was just kind of like a totally different time for people. And I was just really into musicals, hardcore. And I was starved for it because no one was showing me any of the cool stuff. There was no internet to like, you had
Mm.
Grease and Annie and like Jesus Christ Superstar that was like from the 70s and all these things where you had to listen to Andrew Lloyd Webber. And now I'm like, at that point in time, like Rent had already come out. And I wasn't
Mm.
exposed to that. But now the second Hamilton is out. Every child in the world knows it. So kids have no idea how lucky they are that they don't have to be drip fed. And like past recordings for musicals were like 2 discs and they were always like $25. It was insane. So
Yeah,
Grease is a
yeah,
very
yeah.
good gateway musical. Real good gateway.
I don't know if I'll be showing it to my son anytime soon. Um,
Oh, I watched it with my daughter.
I guess it's got some fun songs. I don't know.
She routinely pointed to the TV and said mouse because that's how she asked for Mickey Mouse. So it was not, she was like, mouse now. And I was like, no, for the podcast. This is work.
Tax write-off. Um, I I wrote down like a couple. I think I wrote down a couple of things where I was like really loving the language. He's the living end was one that I wrote down. Things that we need to bring back. Another one. What
I,
did I write down? Flipping. Like it was like flipping it. I don't know if it's like flipping out, but I think it was like something where one of
so
the T-birds said flipping.
I actually wrote down that I wasn't sure if a lot of this language was made up language, 70s language, or 50s language that they used specifically because they knew like it would be a nostalgia thing for people in the 70s. So I wasn't sure like but some of the slang they use is actually great. Um
Yeah,
but
I think they're accurate. It's the same
I
stuff you
think
hear in Back to the Future.
my favorite one and the one that would not have made sense to me so I would not have understood it at the time but was when she comes in, she says, "How you doing?" She says, "I feel like a broken typewriter."
Oh yeah, that was. I just got that on this
I missed a
watch.
period.
Mr.
I
And I
I
was like,
never got
that.
that.
I paused it. I was like, that's genius. I've never heard that before. And obviously, I've seen this movie and I never even clocked.
Yeah, no, there's so
I
many
just
things
like, oh, do you think you're
that
PG?
just
And I wouldn't have got that, and I only got this probably on this watch. Going, oh, PG pregnant.
yeah.
Amazing.
Sorry.
I wrote a lot about the hand jive. Like, I wrote a lot about that whole scene. I call it a
Okay.
hand jive scene. It's not. It's like the dance off scene. But I wrote
Yep.
about like how the singer ends up on the guitarist's shoulders at the end. How did he get there? So really, I was like, this man get up here. Is this a thing that because that's a real band, right? So is this a thing that they
It is,
do,
yeah.
or is this just a thing that they were like, we really need to make an impression? A lot of older men perving on younger women, and like a lot of age gaps happening. Did not like that from the presenter of the dance
Didn't she
off.
say didn't she make a comment that he tried to like spike her drink?
I don't know. Something about like how do your parents feel about me? No,
In
did he
your
say that on the coming into your house every night or something like that? Like,
yeah.
but it's about him being on the TV. I didn't. I was not a fan of that man. I know he was
No,
probably
but
supposed to be lechy, but ew.
there is another uh there was another line like later on that he says that she caught him trying to put an Advil in her Pepsi or something. I think that's what she
I
says.
don't think I caught
Or not.
that.
But it was like she said that he tried to put something in, and it was just like a regular over the counter medication or an aspirin or something. That's what it was, in her Pepsi or whatever. So he tried to spike her drink. I guess I don't know if that's, I don't know,
This
weird.
man. Lock him up.
I know,
Gross.
right? Uh,
I also put more knee skids than a toddler at a wedding.
or what? Oh, niece kids.
It's boys, isn't it? Anytime you give boys a shiny floor, they're gonna knee skid.
I do think that whoever choreographed this scene, I think that I've heard more about them. Like, there's been people that were like, "Oh, this person is a good choreographer. They're the one who did the dance
I love
off
it.
scene in Greece." Like, I
I
feel like I've
love it.
heard.
Yeah. Too right. Genuinely, I was watching this movie going, when do we get to the hand drive? When do we get to it? Because it's my favourite song, I think, from the movie, even though it's not actually, it's just a song rather than part of the musical. But I love the dancing. Why don't we dance like this anymore? I've been watching a lot of West Coast swing dancing recently. Like, I just love it. It's so animated and fun. And okay, yeah, the scene is not great because there's, I mean, a lot of Danny being an asshole because he just doesn't even fight when Sandy leaves and he's paired up with this hussy
Sasha.
because she lifts up her skirt a lot, and he's just like, oh, she's gone, oh, you're here, and I'm sorry, you do not like this girl? Really strange. But and how she forgives him after that, I will never know. She
Okay,
forgives a
so
lot for a lot of
let's
things.
let's just quickly, which also,
Hmm.
so we are starting to get on time, but what I want to
Okay.
say, there was no reason for them to do the montage of him trying all the sports except for how hilarious John Travolta was in that scene.
Oh,
Like,
unnecessary.
I
Unnecessary.
was actually cracking up because I was like, oh god, this part, I forgot about this. Then I was like, actually, this is really quite funny. I'm glad
It
they
is
left
so
this in.
funny. He wants to beat everybody up. I
Um,
did write that the coach is incredibly supportive for a high school coach, being like, "We will find you a sport. Don't you worry. Come with me. I'll take you on my wing." I'm like, "You didn't have to help him at all."
uh, so I want to quickly go over the drive-in and then the final
Okay.
scene.
Yeah.
Unless you have other stuff, but that we've pretty much kind of touched on all.
No, no, no.
There's
I'm
not
good.
much. I mean, racing and all the other 50s fun things they could do, but I feel like the drive-in was kind of the important thing because we did have Rizzo and whether she's pregnant or not, and her sort of, what do we think of Rizzo as a character in general? Because I think she's all right. Like, I don't have a problem with her, but I do see why people would.
I think she just projects a lot. Like she holds a lot
Yeah.
internally, and she is really bad at projecting how she's feeling onto other people. And Sandy's a good punching bag for that. And
Yes.
the men in her life. She obviously really likes Kinnicky, and so Kinnick. So
Nikki. Can we also talk about very quickly though the hickeys from Kinnicky, that Jeff Conway actually gave her those hickeys?
was it consensual? That's the question I have to
Yeah,
ask
I
now.
mean, it's like one of those like fun facts.
It's not a fun fact.
Oh,
It's
it's
just
not
a fact
a
that's
fact.
crazy.
Yeah, it's so good. I was
Let's
like,
call it trivia.
if if you were an intimacy coordinator, you'd probably feel a bit sick in your stomach to hear
This is why
that.
they were invented. This and so many other movies. And also the other guy who, like, the scorpion. Is it the scorpions?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I didn't understand their demographic. Like, they're not the dynamic. I didn't understand. Were they from a rival school? Why were they always in the same school's car park? Why were they always at the same stuff? I didn't understand that.
Rival
I, and
gang,
he
I
doesn't have
guess.
like it was weird. And it was just this one guy with, bless him, horrible acne scars. Like just remember him on the first time I watched it being like, this is a 40-year-old man. I don't It's really weird. Um
It's odd. It's very odd.
and yeah, she tries to get Kanicki's attention by going with this other guy, right? And it's just she really likes him and she's really bad at showing it.
And also, like based off of how old his condom was, which that whole scene totally went over my whole head when I was a little kid. Um,
Yeah.
but how old his condom was and how she was about it, are we assuming that they're both losing their virginity?
I would assume not, right? Because that's what we've been led to believe, is that they've been hooking up before this.
I
I
think that
don't.
they've. I think this is the first time they've gone all the way.
Okay, because I was under the assumption that he'd just run out of condoms and he was using his backup one that he'd had in his wallet. He's like, oh, he's got the old faithful backup. Oh, it's from
Okay,
10 years ago or something.
I don't know. Yeah, I just kind
But
of assumed that it was
very
like they'd
confident.
done a lot but never actually gone all the way, and then they were like, you know what, let's
Maybe.
just do it.
Yeah, yeah, mate, yeah. I do think I do see that, because I think if you have done it already numerous times, you'd be like, nah, just go home. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
But also,
And she's gonna want to be like, I'm cool with it.
it kind of makes me think that that's why it seems that she's dated Danny before, because she dated Danny, but she didn't have sex with Danny. And
I
Danny
don't think
says that
so.
he
Yeah.
went with Cha Cha, but he didn't go with Cha Cha. And I think, again, he
Mm.
just didn't have sex with her.
So I think
So,
you're right. I think we're led to believe these guys are like sexually active all over the neighborhood, but actually they're all just nerdy virgins. Just talk about it all the time, which is what they would do in my secondary school all the time. Is all the boys would talk about sex and all this sex they were having, and all the girls were like, "Who with?" Because it's not us.
yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Um, but then also we have a really weird kind of sex vibe from Danny with a touching
Yes.
her and just sort of
Groped her. It was he knew her boundaries, like 100%, right? We've been through all this. We've apologized, blah blah blah. He knows where the boundaries are now, and he still oversteps it. And is he overstepping it because that's what his mates are going to want him to do, and he's want to go back to his mates and say, "Oh, I did this or did that," because she says no, and he's still. I did not like that.
no.
That for me is an unforgivable act. I'd be like, and we're
Yeah,
done.
I don't get why. I think that it's just something you just have to look over. I know I hate it. I hate everything about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I
you
hate
have to.
everything about it
Yeah,
all. But at the end of the day, it is just like, I guess, written by people who thought this was okay, acted by people who thought this was okay, like,
yeah.
and a culture that said it was okay when it absolutely isn't.
They're also writing for a different time, right? So they can be like, well, this isn't what we think now in the 70s. This is
Yeah.
what they thought in the 50s, So I guess they could probably get away with it like that.
Another point that I did have to make on that same note, though, was that I feel like they're coming from this late 70s, almost 80s, where there's sort of this women's revolution where we're never going to go back to being told what, like, in 40 years' time, there's no way anyone is going to have any problems with women. Women are just going to be completely equal. Why would you ever think that? Like, I think at that point in history, women had come
Mm.
so far, there was no way they thought we'd fuck it up. They were like, no, it's fine. We're going to be so far.
Yeah.
Women can be sex positive. Women can have sex. Women can get pregnant. Women can decide if they're going to have babies or not have babies or suddenly just not be pregnant. And that's fine. And it doesn't matter. If Rizzo wanted to have an abortion, we'd be there with her and that's fine. Like, I think that we are like all positive about these women and okay. And yes, it is shitty that there was some like hate on hate. But Sandy was even just like, look, I know we're not friends, but like, you're in a bad situation. Let me know if there's anything I can do for you.
So good. So supportive.
Like,
Sandy is the best.
right. And I think Frenchie does go along with things in that. But I
Mm.
think she's also just been friends with Rizzo for a long time and doesn't see Rizzo as somebody who means harm.
Yeah.
Like,
I know
if
what you
somebody you'd
mean.
been
I know
friends
what you
with
mean.
forever was like kind of ragging on somebody, you probably might not, especially as a teenager, not realize actually maybe this person doesn't get that humor or whatever it is. And it's a brilliant song.
It is. It is a good song. Yeah. I agree.
Uh, Final, I would say that the last two songs of this are the ones you want to be walking out of every single theater singing. Like after, like it's just two bangers mixed, almost just rolled right into one. But a wop
Yeah.
bodied up, wop bamboo.
What bamboo?
uh,
I knew all
but
of those
it's
bits, all those
perfect.
weird bits. I knew them all. And my
I
husband was
know.
looking at me, I
How
was
do
like,
we?
I don't know where these are in my brain. They're just there, like a sleeper agent.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're not words, and yet
Yeah.
somehow you just know them.
A lot of radio too in my youth.
It's just something that didn't. There's something you didn't remember, and it's only
Yeah.
so that you can remember the song lyrics to songs from Greece.
I forgot a doctor's appointment the other week. It's because of these lyrics.
Yep, there's something that's in there. Okay, so now
Yeah.
every musical, I have three like little subsections here that
Mm.
I'm so excited. I was really feeling very clever. Okay, so we have the bop to the top. Time to crown the showstopper. Which song is our Super Trooper? The one we dance all night at the Cat Scratch Club like it's our final time. Basically, what is our favorite song? But not just song, like spectacle. What is the best song in this musical? That is the reason it is the best song in this musical. So not just your favorite.
Okay. Okay. Do I say it? Am I saying it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean it's a discussion.
I think, oh God, what is the name of the song? The second to end one, the one where
You're
Sandy
the one
comes
that I
up,
want.
and the other one that I want. I think it's got the iconic like forward and back on in the Fun House, which everyone copies. The Fun House, again, the only reason I wanted to go to fun houses was because of this movie. They're not as good as the movie made it look. um, you've got all the characters, you've got everything collecting up in that. Like everyone's storylines are kind of wrapping up in the song or just before the song. It's like I don't know. I just think that's the best. I think that's the best one. It's a really nice duet. It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
I'll give you that. It's a really well written song and it's really fun. And yeah, it's definitely, I would say the only thing I even fought it on was Grease Lightning because I really love that. And I think like it says Grease in it and it's great,
Yeah,
but it doesn't have the whole cast. It's not an ensemble song, it's like half the cast.
yeah.
But yeah,
And the teacher.
and then the worst things I could do is my personal favorite, but it's obviously not a showstopper. It is not the like whole big
Mm.
number. There are some musicals on this list that I'm really gonna struggle with this. Like I'm really gonna struggle with this category. My other category that I got, haha. Now, the character who won us over, which one did we find truly scrumptious and the one we don't have to pretend around and could be hopelessly devoted to? So, who is your favorite character?
Rizzo, for sure.
Yeah, same. Not even a question.
Has
I'm
to be.
actually I do like Frenchie a little bit. But it is mostly Rizzo.
Yeah.
Are we just very like susceptible to the pink ladies or are they better characters? Like are we only saying
Better.
Rizzo because we're girls?
She's more fleshed out. I think Rizzo's incredibly deep. Like
Yeah.
deeper than a lot of the other characters.
Yeah.
Um and she has a really good arc. A lot of the characters
Yeah.
don't have arcs at all. They're pretty static, but she has a really good arc.
I mean Jan, there's literally a moment where one of them says, "You're more than just your fat." And I was like, is Jan literally just there because she's the fat pink lady?
Oh,
She's not even fat.
oh dear.
She is rounder, but that's it.
Yeah.
So
This is the days of pinched waists. Um okay, what was the next one?
and the final one is Take Me or Leave Me. And the final verdict. Are we dumping it like Mark or going crazy like Sandy 2.0? Because at the end of the season, the winner takes it all. So we have to say if we're going to keep it or get rid of it. And I don't really know a whole system yet. By the next one, I will have a complete system of how this is going to
Yeah.
work. But as of right now, would we be like, oh yeah, this is definitely going to be one of the top ones? or probably one of the bottom ones? Do you think that? So there's 8 musicals in total. Do you think it'll be the top 4 or the bottom 4?
That's really tricky. Okay, I think it's like a really like in the middle. So it just feels in the middle. It's not a bad musical by any stretch of the imagination, and I could watch it happily most days. But it's not going to be something where I'm going to be like, oh, I've got to watch this. I feel like I need to watch Grease today. So I'm going to put it in I put it in the top 4, but I'll put it at 4. Like I'm putting it like
Okay.
4.5. It's like jammed in the middle there.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree. I hadn't really thought about my answer for my own questions, but you're like spot on that one. I do think that it's probably either 4 or like 5. Like it's either the top of the bottom or the bottom of the top. Like it's very mid. But that's also because I kind of like sort of know where I'm going with other stuff, but some of them I haven't seen. There's a couple I haven't seen, and I don't know where I'm gonna after a while of watching, and I'm like, I don't know. But yes, I do think that
we have nothing to compare it to.
Yeah, it's hard to go. But I think so what we'll do from here on out will be like which one is better, and then like create our top as we go along. So that's my and then at the very end of the season it will have an order, hopefully.
yeah, I think we will. We have so many I haven't seen. So
you should have heard me chuckling to myself making all these because there's all in my little tip lineups. There's all these little like jokes and ends to some of the musicals we're watching. So I was like, there's so
I'm gonna get them later.
There. You will.
This is like me doing my ads for the last season that we did, and like all of them had so many little Easter eggs in them.
Yeah, I have to be honest. I am so excited to know what the fuck we're talking about. Like to know ahead of time. I mean, I haven't seen everything, but to know like where we're going, I'm just like, I've just been sitting there going like, I don't know. I'm just gonna go watch some boys bum. That's it. Now, did I say some boys bum, or did I say some boys bum? Was it a noun or a verb? You'll never know. You'll never know.
Whereas I'm not a musical aficionado. Like I think it was even mentioned on a previous episode that I'm not. When you said like, I'm not really into musicals. Musicals is not my go-to. I especially don't like seeing musicals. Now, since then, we have seen a musical in person together and had a whale of a time.
We did.
So I don't know if I actually don't like musicals or whether it's just that I just never really thought about it and found my musical niche. So what are we watching next? Next week we've got a chatty episode, yes?
Next week is going to be a chatty episode. I think we'll probably get more into my whole like Annie shit and all that stuff. We'll talk about some history. Yeah. Maybe we'll further investigate your love for Heathers. Maybe you could have a watch of that. If you get a chance. Actually, you'll be on holiday, so if you don't have a chance, whatever, it's fine. But we'll have a little chat just in general about it, and then the next episode after that, we're watching Little Shop of Horrors.
I'm very excited because
I know.
I'm just gonna say that when I was in film school, we were going to do Little Shop of Horrors, and I was going to play one of the characters, and I learned all the songs. So we'll look forward to that. I've got a real history with Little Shop.
I have seen Little Shop maybe a handful of times, but it's never one that's like really stuck with me. Like I'm never just like, oh my god, I remember that bit. I'm always just like, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. So I'm excited to rewatch it. And it is, whenever I try and tell my husband, you don't even like musicals, he's like, I love Little Shop of Horrors. Every time. He loves it. And then he starts saying, and then, nope. Just,
no. We have to get into it on that episode. Save it.
Yeah. I don't have anything else. Yeah, no, that is it. That's us done. So we will see you next week for a little chatty bit, and then you have 2 weeks now to listen or to watch or listen to. If you want to just listen to the soundtrack, that's cool. Little Shop of Horrors, and we will see you then.
All right, and remember everybody to like and subscribe and do all the fun things. Thank you very much. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok and all that. If I don't post for a bit, it's because I'm on my hollybobs. All right.